Hello, and my name's Dave, and welcome to the Rock Project new online guitar lessons. So I'm your tutor. Most of you know me. I don't know if there's any new students out there, but if there are, hello, I'm Dave. So I've been playing guitar for about sort of 20 years, or it feels like about 200 years in a minute. Yeah, today's song that we're going to go over is called Enter Sandman by Metallica. So I've got the official tab book here, because I'm a bit of a tab hoarder. So I have like 1,000,001 different guitar tab books. So yes, we're going to go over it. It's a really great classic rock song. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. I think there's 5 major parts to it, and they just sort of play around with the structure a little bit, but it's pretty straightforward. You also get lots of like really cool drum cues, especially in the build-up. We'll go over that shortly, but especially in the build-up. So keep an eye out for the kind of crashes and things, because that kind of indicates when to change. But I'll go into that a bit deeper later. So first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune my guitar. So I'm just going to put my got my trusty snark here. So I'll tune it up, and then I'll let you sort of check in as well, so you can check. It's really good to be able to hear if things are in tune. If you can sort of, hear the pitch, and the tune, and all that sort of thing, that's really good. So that's a little bit flat, my low E. So it's the low E, the top one here, the thickest string. So I'm just going to tune that. Yeah, ooh, yeah, good. Then I'm going to do A. Good, yeah, great. Then it's the D. Again, a little bit flat. Ooh, the G. The B. And then the high E. Okay, I'm going to check it. Bit of fret buzz there. That's the E. So make sure it's in tune with me. I've listened. E. Okay, and then the A. And the D. Oops. Then the G. And then the B. And then the high E. I'm going to do, to the B. I'll let the B ring out again. Okay, and then the high E. I always like to test it with a nice G major. Okay, so that's good. Okay, great. So we're up and running. So what I'm going to do, maybe I should tell you a little bit about Metallica. So if you don't know, they are. Hello? Yeah. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit. I thought I'd lost the video then, sorry. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Metallica. Okay, so they are a heavy metal band from San Francisco. They kind of formed in the early 80s. And they're most famous for their first 4 albums. They had Kill 'Em All, which is the debut record, which has Seek and Destroy in it. It's a great riff. And then they had Ride the Lightning, which is another classic album. And then they had Master of Puppets, which is the absolute, zenith of like the peak of all metal. Then Justice for All, which is one of my favorite records, that came out in 1988. And then the Black Album, which is this one here, which is the guitar tab up here. So you've got loads and loads of classics. They're kind of breakthrough album, basically. So they had like Enter Sandman, Sad But True, The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, just amazing. Love that one. Nothing Else Matters, which is like real big sort of get your lighters out sort of. I suppose nowadays you just have your mobile phone, light up your mobile phone and like wave it in the air, sort of things. The ballad, but lots of all the other metal bands like Slayer and Megadeth are like, oh man, Metallica have sold out. But it's a great classic rock album. It's brilliant, it's fantastic. So and obviously they started off as a thrash band and they played really, really fast, heavy, loud, punk influenced metal. Lots of new wave of British heavy metal bands as well, like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest kind of really influenced them as well. But then they also like punk bands like Discharge and kind of all these other kind of mad bands that played really fast as well. So they kind of fused the two. They kind of fused the riffs of all the kind of metal bands, the traditional metal bands, with the kind of new speed and aggression of all the punk bands. And they created thrash, you know? So you got out of thrash, you got bands like Slayer, Megadeth, Exodus, Death Angel, all those kind of bands. So, which have gone on to influence tons and tons of other bands that are really popular now. So it's just like an ever-evolving thing. So it's really brilliant. So basically, James Hetfield is the guitar player in the band. There's also there's a lead guitar player called Kirk Hammett. But James Hetfield is the driving force, the creative force behind the band. He is the riff lord. He is just incredible. If you want to get good at playing metal, then you need to study Hetfield. And you know, I think there's probably Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath is the sort of the riff god, if you like. But I would say like James Hetfield is pretty close to that as well, just because the guy just keeps coming up with loads of really, really amazing riffs. Just a monster. He just keeps churning the riffs out. And obviously, Enter Sandman is a really good example of that. This song is in the key of E. It's pretty straightforward to play. Like I said, it starts off with like a really clean guitar. Yep, we're back in the room. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so he's the riff lord, and yeah, this is a really great example. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play the track, and hopefully the video won't dip out. And I'm going to play along with it so you can see what I'm doing as well. Okay, so basically it's all pretty much in E standard tuning, and it does change to an F sharp on the 2nd fret there. It does change to that for the pre-chorus and the chorus. But I'll go, like I said, I'll break it down, I'll go through it all. So anyway, so give you a bit of background, so let's get into it. Here we go, if this works, hopefully. Technology. Is it gonna work? Oh God, is everything not working? Yeah, here we go. Pretty simple part. There's the heavy bit. Slide up to the 7th on the A. There's a Q. Yeah. The Q. Keep going. Goes. Riff. Verse. Chug. Love this bit. Just on the E and the F. F sharp. Chorus. Main riff. So much palm muting there. It's third. F sharp. F sharp, C, B, E. And the solo. Just the main riff. F sharp, pre-chorus. Chorus. Again. And then the intro, clean into part. Some nice tribal drums. Distortion comes on here. F sharp. I think I might flush that. Sorry. Build up. Chorus. Oh, love that. Yeah, yeah. And goes back in it, so hit the cues. And it just fades out, which is a really 80s/early 90s thing to do. You don't kind of tend to get many songs that just fade out these days. Yeah, it was just like a thing for radio generally, I think. So, because like normally people used to listen to the radio live quite a lot now. I mean, obviously people still listen to the radio, but it's different. It was a really different sort of thing because you could listen to these tracks anywhere on YouTube, Spotify, Bandcamp, whatever. Whereas back in the day, when I was a young person, you had to like actually just tune into the radio and listen to the specific sort of rock shows to be able to hear any of this kind of music. You couldn't, because there was no YouTube. There was no Bandcamp, there was no Spotify, there was no iTunes, there was nothing. So you either had to buy the record to save up your pocket money and go down to Woolworths, which doesn't exist anymore, or just go down and buy the cassette or the CD, which I think I've got the cassette there from when I bought it in '91. I think it came out in August '91. I went to see them in '91 as well. I saw Metallica for the first time at Donington Monsters of Rock, and it was Motley Crue, Metallica, and AC/DC. All in one day. And it was mental, amazing. It was like 100,000 metalheads all just headbanging to the biggest bands of the time. Literally 1991 is amazing. Anyway, yeah, let's get to it then. So we'll break it down into little chunks. So we'll start off with a little intro. So the intro is pretty straightforward. So it goes. So I'm just hitting the open E, and then I'm kind of doing an inverted power chord here, and then like a arpeggio, and I'm doing like a sort of triad-y sort of kind of evil sounding. Metal bands love that. They love that sort of tritone-y sort of vibe. All that sort of stuff. It sounds really cool. So yeah. So basically, I'm when I say inverted power chord, because the power chord's normally like that. Like if I was playing a D power chord, there'd be the root note there, the D on the fifth, and the A with the seventh there. But I'm kind of swapping it around, so I've got my finger there on the seventh, third finger on the seventh, and then my first finger on the fifth. It's kind of upside down. You can also play like sort of black metal, like that. You can play all that sort of stuff, if that's your bag. But anyway, we're not doing that. Let's get on with it. So basically, we're just going to go. So we're just hitting the open E, and then we're going. So just hitting the open E, then going down. So 7, 5, so and then I'm skipping a string, going back up to the low E, and I'm going 6 on the frets, 6, 5. And then I'm hitting the 7, which is the E, because it's an octave. That's E, that's E, like that. So I'm going. That's the intro. And also the little middle 8 bit in after the guitar solo, when it's like that whole sort of like prayer section where it's like, now I lay me down to sleep and all that business before it builds up with the chug. Anyway, so we got that. Okay, great, simple. That does that a few times, and then we go into the heavy bit. So it's like it's a 3-part build up. Okay, so what happens is you go. So I'm going hitting the E power chord there, and I'm going chugging, sliding up from around about the sort of second or third up to the 7th. I want to get to the E on the A string, so I want to get that octave again. So it's like, and it's all about the palm mute as well. So you want to use this part of your hand right on the back of the guitar here to get that chug. Obviously I'm playing an acoustic guitar here. But I mean, yeah, if you've got like a big amp and all that sort of stuff, crank it up and let rip. I would normally do that, but I think my neighbours might not appreciate it because I'm doing this quite late at night. So I think if I got my my PV amp out and played it 100 watts at this time, yeah, they'd probably be banging on my door. So that's why I got the acoustic. But I love playing acoustic anyway, because I think if a song sounds good in the acoustic, it'll sound great on any guitar. So it's always a rule of thumb that I swear by. Anyway, so we're going to go. And then you get those drum. If you listen to Lars Ulrich, the drummer, he does these. Psh, psh, psh. He does a couple of little smashes like that on the cymbals, and they kind of basically give you a cue, like an oral cue, to start changing it up to the next part, which is. So what is it? It's the first bit. So it goes. So we're kind of like playing that. Those 3 notes, but we're splitting it up into 3 sections with the chug. So the first bit is slide up. The second bit is, and he adds the F power chord bottom there on the first bit. So it's like that. So it's pretty simple. And the next, get a couple more crashes, and that leads you to the last little bit where you're playing those all 3 notes with the F power chord in the midst of all that chugging. So we're going to go. And then all hell breaks loose, because that's when the main riff kicks in. And I never forget hearing this song for the first time on the radio, and it just like blew my mind. I was just like, what is this? It's instant. You hear it, and it's an instant classic. It's a bit like Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit. As soon as you hear that riff, it's just like something primal in your brain just goes, you just want to like hurl yourself around. So it's a special thing, you know, if you can write a riff that immediately connects with millions of people around the world, you know, and they immediately all want to bang their heads or jump around or whatever, you know. So I think it's a really amazing thing, and it's a really powerful thing. So keep writing those riffs. So the main riff is pretty simple. It's one of the easiest ones out there. It's kind of become like, you know, a classic riff that you have to, if you're going to go and try out a guitar or something, you know, it used to be like you'd play Stairway to Heaven, something like that. Or you do like Smoke on the Water, all that sort of business. But I think sort of Enter Sandman kind of in the early 90s definitely took over, and of course Smells Like Teen Spirit. Again, they're all really simple riffs. They're super simple riffs, you know. Probably the most recent song that everyone really wants to learn to play is like Seven Nation Army. It's so simple, but it's just great. It gets people going. But anyway, this main riff is in E, again, E power chord. So you do that build up with the E, with the F. So I'm going 7 there, 6 on the low E, 5 on the low E, and then to the F. I've got the chug in between, and then it's E. I'm going to hit it twice really hard. I'm going to slide up to the 7 and play that little 3-note riff. If you can give that note, that A note, that's an A, if you can give that a little bit of attitude, that's really cool. And at the end of it, just before I forget, you want to hit the E there as well. So you play that 3 times? Was that 2 times? I don't know. I wasn't counting. I think so, would it? Yeah. And then the last little bit is a great, simple little palm mute, palm mute off type thing. You got to do it quite quickly, and it's a bit tricky for beginners, but I think you guys are going to be all right. So it's just, what you want to do is you want to be palm muting the E, chugging that in between each chord change. So you're going to go, you want to do that. Yeah. So you want to, basically we're just going G, open E, palm muted, to F sharp, so 2nd fret there. So what is it? So and then we're going to go F sharp, G, F sharp, E. So it's G. I'll play it without, if this makes sense, I'll play it. So that's not palm muted, but it's G, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E. Okay? But the correct way to do it is have that palm mute on and off. So it's off there. For the chords, it's off, innit? Yeah! So basically, main riff 3 times with that palm mutey chord thing on the G to the F sharp, going back and forth with the chug at the end. Okay? Pretty straight. So the main riff is as follows. So that's that. So the next bit is into the verse where James Hetfield sings, because he's a clever guy and he doesn't just write the most amazing metal riffs ever. He also can sing, and he writes the lyrics as well. And yeah, he's just a great frontman. He's just an all-round amazing metal frontman. So yeah, so this is the bit where he's singing. And this bit's super easy, and I love this because it's just all about the chug. So it's like, and so he's chugging on the E, hits the E without a chug, then he waxes whacks that down on the back of the strings, and he's obviously through a distorted guitar amp cranked to like 75. It sounds killer, you know. It's just, and in the studio they overdub the guitars as well. So I'm not entirely sure how many tracks they have on this one. I can find out, but there's probably a good 2 or 3 on there, I should imagine, if not more. Just pure chug. You probably double track. They call it double tracking, where you just layer it up just to get a really bit, and then you spread the stereo sound to make it just sound huge, you know. So yeah, which this song does. This song just sounds massive. It's just a massive song, massive riff, massive song. So where am I? So we're doing the chug bit. So say your prayers, little. So that's the F there on the first fret there. So it's, say your prayers, little one, don't forget my son, to include every. Then you do that riff at the end of the main riff, the G. You do that again. That one. I hope you can see. But obviously the trick and the real knack to this is getting that palm mute on and off, making it sound. Yeah, just making it sound really heavy. Yeah. Okay, so the next bit is it goes to the F sharp, where it sort of goes. So I'm hitting the F sharp then, and I'm skipping to the octave. Walking bass line. I'm hitting that one. I think I need to get new strings on this thing. Sorry, guys. So yeah, hit the what's that? That's A. The A note there. Octave. It's not the open A, obviously, on the second fret. It's on the G on there, right? So here we go. And then I want to do that C, B, like 3rd fret on the A, 2nd fret on the A there. So C, B. So it's, hang on. So that's the pre-chorus. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. And the chorus, which is just a bunch of power chords, pretty simple. It's F sharp, C to B. Then E power chord. And then that classic, off to never, never land. And then you just go back into the main riff, which is. Kirk Hammett's little kind of nice bluesy kind of E pentatonic lick there with lots of wah. Kirk Hammett loves the wah pedal, and he loves the kind of 12th position E pentatonic. He's kind of, well, he loves all pentatonic. He's just usually all over the neck, but it's that pentatonic. He just loves that sort of stuff. But we'll look at the guitar solo next week. Okay, I'm going to get my electric guitar out next week. I'm going to crank it up, and I'm going to, yeah, I'll see if I can get my wah pedal working. I haven't used it for a while, but I'll see if I get the wah pedal working, and we'll have fun with the guitar solo. We'll focus. We'll recap what we've done in this lesson this week, and then so we'll go over the riffs and we'll play along with the track, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the lesson on the guitar solo. And it's a relatively straightforward solo. If you break into little bite-sized chunks, it's pretty cool. So I'm just trying to think, what else is that? I think that's pretty much it for this song. Yeah, because, I suppose the outro, when it fades out, it basically kind of goes, it's the whole intro bit, but kind of in reverse. So it's what is it? So it starts with the 3 notes to the F, and then it kind of like starts cutting down when Lars Ulrich hits the cymbals. So it starts cutting down. So yeah, just kind of goes like that, and it fades out really slowly. So yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, you've got your that sort of intro arpeggio, then you've got the build up, the F, that then. Say your prayers, little one, don't forget, my son, to include everyone. I tuck you in, free from sin, keep free from sin, till the Sandman he comes. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light, and tonight, take my hand. Off to Never Neverland. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. Plenty to work on there. Those main riffs, that bit and the build up is probably one of the most tricky things. It's relatively straightforward to play, but just make sure that you're on it and count how many times it goes round. I haven't done that here, but it's like I said, you've got those oral cues with the drum crashes, but it's a really good practice to start counting. So that's something you can do in the week. And yeah, then you've got your sort of your main riff, which is great, loving that. Chord change, pre-chorus, the F sharp, into the chorus. So you've got that kind of like arpeggio thing. Then it goes into the crashing chords to the chorus, you know, and then you back into that. And then when the guitar solo plays, you just play the main. You just play the main riff. So it's the main riff and the pre-chorus, and then it does break when the guitar goes. When it does that and he's on the whammy bar, it goes. Now I'll lay me down to sleep. Great love, my soul to keep, and all that business. When it does all that, it's the intro, and then it goes, hush, little baby, don't say a word, and never mind that noise you heard. It's just a beast under your bed, in your closet, in your head. Exit light, and tonight, take my hand. Repeat the chorus and exit light. Oh, light. Sorry. And tonight, chain of sand. Off to Never Neverland. It's the E, then it's oh, yeah, and all that, and then it goes back into the goes into that. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Obviously next week I'll have my electric guitar plugged in. I'll try and do them earlier. Have my electric guitar with a wah, hopefully, fingers crossed. So we'll have lots of fun with that. And yeah, keep practicing, listen to the song, listen to loads of Metallica anyway, especially like Master of Puppets, Ride the Lightning, and Justice for All. Justice for All, in my opinion, is like a kind of classic. There's just so many mad riffs. The songs are quite long, so it's a bit of an epic, but it's just really, and some of the guitar solos are amazing on there. Like Kirk Hammett's just using loads of whammy bar dives and just really kind of fast pentatonic scale runs with lots of wah, you know, and it just sounds totally wild. So yeah, enjoy all that, have fun, practice, just play, enjoy it, and I will see you next week for more rock. Okay, thanks very much. Take care of yourselves. See you next week. Bye.